Convert Mesa's fixed traditional budget below, which is all of this. This is a traditional style income statement. Sales minus the cost of goods sold equals gross profit minus selling expenses minus administrative expenses equals net income. Convert all this into a flexible contribution format budget, which means we're going to convert things into this budget by finding out what is fixed and what is variable cost, and let the type of cost be the way we'll set this income statement up, keeping in mind that no matter how we do it, whether it's a traditional statement or whether it's a flexible budget, we're going to end up with the same income. So, step 1. Classify items below into variable and fixed costs. Variable costs are costs that vary with volume. They go up and down when volume changes, and fixed costs stay the same. So I'll do this real quickly. Our variable costs for this problem are going to be direct materials, right here, direct labor, okay, production supplies, all right there, sales commissions, which are right here, and packaging, which are down here under selling expenses. These are considered variable costs. They go up and down almost in a straight line whenever sales or production changes. So sales minus these variable costs are going to equal contribution margin. Contribution margin is a little different than something called gross profit. Fixed costs in this problem are going to be the plant manager's salary, which let's see, where's that at? Right there, plant manager's salary. Advertising, which is right here. Administrative salaries, which are right there. Depreciation, office equipment, which is right there. Insurance, and then office rent. These are considered fixed. They don't go up and down. They don't change very much at all whenever you have changes in the production or sales. So the total picture looks like this for this flexible contribution format style. It's sales minus variable cost equals contribution margin minus fixed cost equals income from operations. And again, like I said, income from operations is going to be the same whether it's under this format or whether it's under traditional format. That's step 1. Step 2 is to compute the per unit cost of sales and these variable costs. Well, the $210 selling price for sales is going to be the notice we had 16,500 units that we sold here. You take these 16,500 units and you divide them into this total sales number, and you'll get the selling price per unit. You do the same thing for these variable costs. I'm just going to do a couple of them. So for direct materials, the variable cost per unit for direct materials is $24.16. That's going to be the 398,640, which is this number right here, divided by the 16,500 units. And that's to the nearest cent. That's going to be $24.16 direct material cost per unit. Same thing for labor. The 708,345 divided by 16,500 will give us $42.93 to the nearest penny for direct labor per unit variable cost. So do I have another one here? No, I don't have any more of them. You can do the rest of these, the production, sales commissions, packaging, and even if you want to, you can get total variable cost per unit, and if you want to, you can get the contribution margin per unit if you want to. Next, we're going to put in here the fixed cost, and like I said before, the fixed cost in this problem we said were plant manager's salary, and that's $198,640, which is this number right here. It's fixed. It's going to be fixed under this budget format or under this one, either one. Advertising is $100,000. Administrative salary is $248,640. Depreciation office equipment is $218,640, which is this number. Insurance is $188,640, and then office rent is $198,640. and these are going to be fixed no matter what level of sales we reach here. So the total fixed cost, add all these up, you get $1,153,200. Now, one of the good things about a flexible contribution style budget, or in this case it's a flexible contribution style income statement, is you can predict things with it. It can be very accurate in predicting things. So once we've got this basic information set up here under variable cost per unit and fixed cost in total, then we can predict different levels of sales, which is what we have to do in this problem. So let's go on to the next slide. Here's the information we had set up in the previous slide, the variable cost per unit and the fixed cost in total. And if we wanted to say, let's say, put together an income statement or a budget, let's say for 14,500 units, very simple. All you got to do is take the 14,500 units and multiply it times, let's say, to get total sales, 14.5 times 210. If you want to get total variable cost under this budget level, you take 14.5 times $24.16 per unit, and you'll get the total variable cost of materials for this budget level. Same thing for labor, 14.5 times 42.93, 622, 14.5 times 27.96, 405, 420, 14.5 times, you get the idea, right? You just multiply each of these different variable costs per unit times the budget amount you're trying to get to, and you'll get the total amounts that you need for total variable costs for each of these different pieces. Add all these variable costs, different kinds of cost up, you get total variable cost, which is 1,715,930. Subtract that from the total sales to get the contribution margin in total, which is 1,329,070. And it looks like they did in this original problem find the contribution margin per unit at the original level we had on the previous slide. Anyway, you can now add to that the fixed cost. These fixed costs are fixed no matter what level of budget sales we're talking about. That's why they're called fixed costs, because they don't change no matter what level we're talking about. So anyway, if we wanted to find out what our budgeted income from operations we thought were going to be, if we had sales of 14.5, it's going to be, looks like 175,870, which again will be the contribution margin minus these total fixed costs. It's going to equal 175,870. I think the problem also wants you to figure out the same kind of a budget, or the same kind of an income statement for sales levels of 16.5, which would be that, and sales levels of 19.5. And notice that the fixed costs all stay the same, because no matter what level we're talking about of sales, fixed costs are fixed cost. Anyway, it's a very useful kind of tool to be able to restate your traditional income statement into this kind of format.